identity crisis. Some railways on the island of Sodor were all sometimes owned by the Fat Controller, but some controllers besides from him. They were all so big and some as big or not as big as the Northwestern Railway. Some engines were saved from scrap and being bought by the Heritage Railway, but there were some new engines that were built for passenger services and definitely for speed. And Connor or Caitlin had been the most engines to be built for. That's why they were called streamlined engines. Until one day, Connor had just finished his journey with his passengers. He left his coaches at Wellsworth Station and he raced off to take a nap at the shed. Until afterwards, Connor backed into the sheds where he could get some rest when Neville and Molly saw him. They looked very pleased to see him. "Connor," said Molly, "how've you been? Where was you these last few weeks?" "I had an overhaul," said Connor, "and they also gave me back my proper shape and my new paint, my new colours too," he said. "By the way," she asked, Where is Murdoch? He's having an overhaul just like you did," said Neville. "So Molly and I are pulling the express together. I could go faster than you any day," said Molly, "and showed them that I am the strongest in the main line." "Is that so?" said Neville. "Since when's the last time you broke the rules?" "Nothing," boasted Molly. I'm a non-rule breaker, and I can be the best at any sorts any day," he said. Well, at least I can go 75 miles per hour on the main line," said Neville. "That will show you, won't it?" Then Connor rolled his eyes. "I don't think it would be a wise idea to break the rules on the main line," he said. Remember what I was like a few months ago after my crash at the station?" he said. "That was not good, but I have now learnt my lesson back then," he said. "I would never break the rules of the main line ever again," he said. Then Molly soon rolled her eyes. "Well," she said, "that may be, but I can show any engine that I am faster and stronger," she said. "You wait and see," said Neville, "'cause I'm about to show you what I really am." The two argued, and Connor was still not enjoying this. "Oh, they're going to carry on forever till the end," he moaned. The next morning, Neville's driver and fireman arrived to start work. "Wake up, Neville," said his driver. "You're meant to be pulling the express today." Then Neville's eyes opened. Then he looked at Molly. "Molly," he said, "wake up! Aren't you going to shunt the express coaches for me?" he said. But Molly was too tired to answer. "Not really," she said. "I'm too tired. Go fetch them yourself." "So you're not going to shunt the coaches for me after all?" said Neville. "I'm not going out there until someone fetches them for me next," said Neville. "I'm sorry, Neville," said Neville's driver and fireman, "but you'll have to fetch your own coaches." But as soon as Neville's driver and fireman argued, Neville couldn't win anymore. With that, the turntable was turned, and Neville got out of the sheds to fetch his own coaches. And this made Neville very cross when he had to fetch his own coaches. He found the express coaches in the siding and banged them hard. "Oh," went the coaches, "how rude!" But Neville took no notice. He was coupled to the express. and his driver and fireman were going to fit Neville with some lamps. Fortunately, the other lamp Neville was for the usuals, like the other engines were, and the one on his right was for emergencies, and had something on it which is called a railway code. Neville didn't know that lamps can have a railway code. After he was fitted with his two lamps, the driver and fireman jumped by the sound of an engine's whistle. "Hello there, Neville," chuckled Molly, feeling very giddy today. "What, pulling the express on, are you? I thought you were too tired to shunt," said Neville. "Oh, I was, but I'm awake now," said Molly. I guess I'll have to go. "See you," she said. "Oh, I really hate you sometimes, Molly," said Neville. "All you do is boast all the time," he said. "Just you wait. One more flip of your tender and you will be in so much trouble." "I don't care," said Molly. "I can go 75 miles per hour in the main line anyway," she said, and she puffed crossly away. Neville was very cross. "Oh," he groaned. "Don't worry about her," said the driver and fireman, as they climbed aboard Neville, and Neville was on his way. As Neville backed into the station with the express, he was still impatient. Hurry up, he said crossly. Just then, Stepney arrived. "Hello, Neville," said Stepney. "Pulling the express today, are you?" But Neville was too angry to talk to Stepney. "Are you all right?" he asked. But Neville didn't answer. Soon the passengers got in. The guard blew his whistle, and Neville steamed out of the station with fury. "I'll say goodbye for now, if you'd like, Neville," said Stepney. But Neville didn't reply as he sped away with the express. Moments after, Neville still began racing around the line. He began to go too fast with the express. Engines like Gordon would sometimes and always treat the express smoothly, but to Neville he didn't care. "Well," he said, if there's only one engine that can go racing down the line at that speed, it would be me," he went on, as he continued along his way. Soon he went racing up the hill. He began racing too fast. Then he went down a hill and went swinging through a bend as one of his lamps came off. "Whoa!" went Neville. Poor Neville felt like the coaches were pushing him, and indeed they were. Then there was trouble. Neville found himself off the express line and onto a different line. There stood a man waving a red flag, and before there was a collision, Neville had been halted to an unexpected stop. Then he was very cross. "Why have we been stopped?" he shouted to his driver and fireman. "Neville," said his driver, "your lamp has come off. Why didn't you tell us?" "Indeed, he should have, you little fool," said the signalman. Now there's going to be trouble, and the Fat Controller won't like it." The two argued until the agitated passengers began to shout and complain. This meant for Neville being the blame. Before he could blow his whistle to calm things down, they had completely forgotten that Molly was coming down the line. "Hello there, Neville," she said. "Feeling embarrassed, are you? Feeling embarrassed, are you?" "Oh, I am," said Neville, "and it's all your fault." "Molly," said the signalman, "is it true?" "No, it wasn't," said Molly. "I was only having a joke and "I don't believe you," said the signalman. Soon Neville's driver and fireman, Molly's driver and fireman, and the signalman were all very cross with Molly, and they began to blame it on her. "I haven't done anything," shouted Molly. "Neville, can you please back me up here?" Sorry, Molly," said Neville. "Too tired to stick up for you, that is all," he said. "And besides, when you get back, I'm sure you'll have to answer everything the Fat Controller has to ask," he said. But unfortunately, it was the two engines that were going to be the blame for it. And indeed they were. When they got back that evening, the Fat Controller was very cross. "I am disappointed in the both of you this evening," he said. "Either of you could have caused a serious accident. For your punishment, you two will be shunting in the yards for the rest of the week," he said. "How was it that you two have been so boastful and arrogant and roughy with the express?" he said. "Why can't you two be fresh and smooth like Murdoch from his overhaul?" he said. "You two have done quite enough." "But sir," said Molly, "No buts," said the Fat Controller. "You two will stay in the yards or shunt trucks until I get to the bottom of this, and until this is all over," he said. Then he turned to Murdoch. "Murdoch, since you have been refreshed from your overhaul, you can pull the express tomorrow." "Thank you, sir," said Murdoch, although he liked goods trains more than the express. "Why, Murdoch?" shouted Molly and Neville. "Murdoch has worked so hard after pulling the express. You two have caused enough incidents. Now good day to you all." With that, the two engines sulked except for one, leaving the Fat Controller frustrated and trying to get his anger out, walked away to have a nice sleep for the rest of the night.